What if you died again and again and again, each time remembering the pain, each time growing stronger, each time chasing a dream everyone said was impossible? This isn't just another war story. It's a battle against fate, fear, and failure. Welcome to the endless loop of a man who refuses to die until he becomes a legend. A perfect stab, the blade's tip. I've seen it for the 17th time, my 17th death. If I had wielded the sword with just a bit more effort, if I had worked a bit harder, perhaps I wouldn't have died here. Do you really think that? Try struggling. Feel it properly, wait, and give up. The despair in front of a wall you cannot cross. Squad commander, you woke up immediately today. Rem, you have bugs in your boots. Damn it. Did you put it in? What kind of bullshit foolery is this? Shut up. I just saw it crawl in earlier. This is my 18th time seeing that bug's corpse. If I see it a few more times, will I be able to end this day? I've wielded a sword since I was young. I learned swordsmanship from a retired mercenary who coincidentally came to my village. Incredible, Encred. If you're already this good, you can become a knight. I began to dream. Me, a knight. A knight who can slay 1,000 people by himself and change the dynamics of a battlefield. An invincible hero. The knight who can finish a war. We will call him the Knight of the End. I thought I was the protagonist of the song a wandering minstrel sang. Let's leave. Let's leave the village and become a knight. Did you see the newbie fall earlier? The coward who was scared of a mere stray dog dreams of becoming a knight? You aren't even good enough to be a free mercenary. I, who left the village and entered a mercenary corps, learned that my talent might be nothing special, but it was too early to give up from one failure. Hard work never betrays you. If I wasn't talented, I believed that with time and effort, I could overcome it all. I gained experience. I gained the strength and endurance to be acknowledged by those around me. I'm becoming stronger. I can become a knight. But that strong hope started to shatter. Is this how my hard work was all in vain? Is there really no way? I want to become a knight. Everyone may belittle me, saying it's a hopeless dream, but by spending several times less time on eating and sleeping than others, swinging, and swinging, one day, even if I can't become a knight, I can at least be an experienced soldier. 3 years later, the present, Cyprus Division, 4 companies, 4 platoons, and below that, 4 squads. I became the squad commander of a so-called second-rate squad, the best position I could achieve after my endless training. But still, being a regular soldier of the kingdom is better than a traveling mercenary. Hey Jackson, what is it? Do my morning duty rotation for me today. Repay me next time. Gosh, what a wicked, wild, cat-like bastard. Look how he stares at you. Rem, trying to push something onto me too. Heart of the beast. I want to learn it again. Didn't you give up on trying to learn it last time? Do you think it'll work now? The Naulilia versus Aspen close combat battle that began again. I died in this battle, came back to life, and began to relive the same day over and over again. Although I learned Heart of the Beast from Rem each time I came back to life, I still can't watch the tip of the sword that stabs me. Today for sure. This is my 21st time on this same battlefield. I have completely memorized this repeating situation, dodged the spear that comes from my back. Next, an attack from the guy behind me. And another squad's member, Vel. He'll die soon. It worked. Even though I blocked the first arrow, he immediately kicked the bucket. I completed my first goal for today. What's left now? I always end up facing that bastard without fail. He has stabbed my neck and killed me 20 times. This time, I will survive. Since you always close your eyes in dangerous situations, look. If you do this on the battlefield, you'll die immediately. You need to be brave. Don't be easily agitated or taken aback. Become a bastard who doesn't know anything about death. Like a beast. That is the heart of the beast. A beast who doesn't know death. Am I afraid of death? Death makes me stronger. For the first time, today on my 21st try, I dodged his stab for the furs. In this never-ending day, I have been trapped, feeling pain and despairing. Give up and get on the boat. Acknowledge your weak self and be at ease. No, that day will never come, you piece of shit. I saw the tip of his sword with my 2 eyes and dodged it. Squad commander, you woke up immediately today. I am moving forward 1 step at a time. On my 22nd day, I am gonna challenge it again. This was the 33rd time. Encrid could see it clearly now. He thought, if I move fast enough, I'll dodge before his sword reaches me. But he was too fast. During his years as a mercenary, Encrid had taken a few monster subjugation requests. Not out of obligation. He just happened to pass through villages in need. But there was always a deeper reason. A dream. Encrid had always dreamed of becoming a knight. To him, protecting the weak was the noblest duty. And in one village, poor and desperate, they offered him their only reward. A charm. It'll grant what you desperately pray for, they said. At the time, Encrid scoffed at the idea. But now he wondered. Could that simple charm be the reason this day kept repeating? Could it all be happening, just so he could finally become the knight he always dreamed of being? His thoughts were broken by the voice of his enemy. You must be in pain. Here's some mercy. Encrid's anger boiled. Mercy? You enjoy stabbing people. That's not mercy. You're just a pervert. Later that morning, Encrid pulled a prank on Rem. He slipped an insect into his boot. Are you insane? Rem shouted. Encrid just smirked. Stop whining. Come outside and teach me the heart of the beast. Rem stared, surprised. What are you doing? How did your nerves get so thick overnight? Encrid stood firm. I trained, but Rem knew something was off. That's not something you gain so quickly. Encrid stayed silent. He had already relived this moment more than 10 times. The technique Rem spoke of wasn't just something to learn. It was something Encrid had absorbed through death. Let's spare, Encrid said calmly. Rem nodded. Sounds great. Despite learning the heart of the beast, Encrid knew the truth. If he couldn't strike with confidence, he'd still die. Their blades clashed again. Rem yelled, How long are you going to dodge for, squad commander? Encrid's only real weapon was the Valen mercenary sword technique, an unusual style forged by a man named Valen, mocked by some as petty tricks. But for Encrid, it was the most reliable technique he had. Rem observed, Your lower body's still weak. In the next clash, Encrid tried something different. He mimicked the exact motion of his enemy's deadly stab. He died to it more than 10 times. His body now remembered it. Damn, he muttered. That should have drawn blood. Rem raised an eyebrow. That was your best move yet. Encrid absorbed the feedback. So it should go like this, with force. Rem laughed. Yes, your hand should bleed. That's what it needs. But Encrid's real battle wasn't with technique. It was with doubt. He lacked confidence. He always questioned himself. If this attack fails, what do I do next? Rem gave advice only a madman would understand. Shout, you're dead meat now. That'll stop you from losing grip. Oddly enough, it made sense. That was the difference between Encrid's hesitant stab and his enemy's killing strike. His enemy believed in the blade. Encrid didn't. Here's some mercy, the enemy always sneered. But now Encrid changed. He would strike with the intent to kill, not hesitate, not flinch. Day by day he grew, step by step, even if only a quarter of a step at a time. On the 111th day, here's some mercy. On the 123rd day, here's some mercy. Finally, on the 124th day, Encrid struck back, and for the first time, he matched the perverted bastard's stab. Rem looked horrified. Are you insane? Your hands are bleeding. You're laughing like a madman. But Encrid stood tall, blood dripping, blade steady. He wasn't broken. He was becoming something else, a beast who did not fear death, a knight forged in agony and repetition. A little faster. That's all Encrid needed. A touch more speed, murderous intent surging through him. He struck out, but his first stab attempt failed. His blade missed its mark. Still, he didn't blink. He didn't loosen his grip. He wouldn't let go of his sword. Every memory of their countless clashes replayed in his head. Each sword strike, each defeat, every moment burned into his soul. As he looked into the eyes of his enemy, that same cruel smirk appearing once more, Encrid whispered to himself, "Tomorrow, you're going to die." The next morning, Encrid crushed a bug underfoot, a minor thing, but it mattered. "I saw it crawling in earlier," Encrid said casually. Rem looked surprised. Thanks. If you're thankful, then take over my guard shift." Rem blinked. Why is he bossing me around like it's nothing? It was day 125. Encrid moved quickly through the camp. "Hey, Big Eyes," he called out to a fellow soldier. "Get me some shin armor, a shield, and a dagger." The soldier looked confused. "What? Now? I mean, sure. I'll trust you since you're the boss. But you know I don't usually do people favors, right?" Rem, watching from the side, muttered, "Has the squad commander always been this intense?" Jackson scoffed. "You've been dumping your tasks on him for weeks. Of course he's acting different." "What did you just say? You want to taste my axe?" Rem growled. Nearby, a hulking man placed a hand on Encrid's shoulder and said with a smile, "I wish you my blessing, brother." But behind their humor and banter, something felt off. Everyone could sense it. Encrid wasn't acting like himself. Encrid's mind burned with doubts. The pain of each death still lingered deep inside him. What if he never overcame this loop, even after thousands, tens of thousands of attempts? What if escape was impossible? Would he just wake up again to the same day? Or would he finally see tomorrow? He'd grown stronger, there was no doubt, but strength alone wasn't enough. Not for someone like him, not for Encrid. "I have to break through," he thought. "I can't abandon this gift, this blessing. I have to keep going." He was no prodigy, no chosen one, just a man who'd survived through three things: preparation, luck, and a cool head. He remembered them all. Day 46, his left shoulder shattered by a spiked mace. Day 47, he dodged the mace only to have his head crushed by another warrior. Day 71, a low swing cut off his foot, leaving him helpless. Day 89, an axe thrown from afar split his skull open. Each death, each pain, each lesson. One opponent, if left alive, always interrupted his final duel. So now Encrid made sure to take that man out first. Clean, efficient, practiced. He had trained in throwing weapons for this very reason. Then came Vel, right behind him. But there was no time. The sharpshooter, the infamous Claw of the Hawk, was already taking position. Encrid focused. This was it. He now stood before the wall, the symbol of all that stopped him. He couldn't just dodge and stab. That wasn't enough. The enemy before him wasn't some monster, but he fought like a prodigy. His movements were sharp, controlled, calculated, but Encrid had something more: real combat experience. He could read every hesitation, every flinch. He used the Valen mercenary sword technique. Unpredictable, brutal, a style scorned by many, but effective. And now he knew everything about that deadly stab. Every angle, every mistake. He mimicked the move perfectly and shattered his enemy's sword. Suddenly, an arrow whistled through the air. The Claw of the Hawk had taken his shot, but Rem, acting on instinct, leapt in with his axe and sliced the arrow midair. "I'm gonna rip that hawk bastard apart," he roared. Jackson held him back. "It's too late. Don't waste your energy." Encrid had already acted. His sword pierced the enemy's throat. "This is mercy," he whispered. With one swift motion, he cut off the enemy's head. Finally, he had broken through the wall. But peace was short-lived. Without warning, a monstrous figure leapt at Encrid. Its skin glistened, its limbs twisted unnaturally. A frog man, powerful, fast, tackled him with terrifying strength. Encrid slammed into the ground hard. Someone screamed in horror. He's a frog!" The battlefield was soaked in blood and heat. A monstrous frog-like warrior loomed over Encrid's unconscious body, its voice filled with venom.
I invested quite a bit in raising this one. I can't believe someone like you defeated him. Die. But before the fatal blow could land, a powerful clash of steel echoed. Rem had arrived. The two warriors collided, magic and muscle locking in deadly rhythm. At the same time, another enemy soldier crept forward, blade drawn, aiming for Encrid's exposed throat. But the steel never struck. Jackson's blade flashed through the air. Clean, precise, final. If you want to cut off our squad commander's head, you need my permission first, said Rem, eyes fixed on the frogman. Squad commander? That weakling's the commander? Not you, the frog sneered. Rem's eyes narrowed. The warrior race. Frogs born to fight. To bring this one down, I'll need to either burn it alive with magic or strike its heart clean. What a hassle. But the frogman was thinking the same. Why is someone like him here in a trivial battlefield? If I want to kill him, I'll have to put my life on the line. The tension snapped as reinforcements arrived. The entire 4th squad surged into the fray. Retreat! Retreat! Screamed the enemies, vanishing into the fog of war. Darkness took over once again. In the space between life and death, the Reaper's voice returned. You managed to survive a day, but that's it. The walls will keep coming, and one day, they'll break you. Your fate is despair. But Encrid did not flinch. Fate? For me, walls are meant to be overcome. I'll be waiting for the day those greedy, ambitious eyes finally lose their light, the Reaper replied. His eyes opened to dim light and muffled sounds. The infirmary tent. Rem's voice greeted him, casually irritated as always. You had no problem sleeping for 2 days straight. I saved you from that frog, remember? Encrid blinked. That frog? Was that really a frog at the end? I survived. Your bones are fine, but your head took a hit. You remember your best friend forever, right? Rem added. I never said we were friends, you noble hunter. Shut up. Just because it's someone else's secret doesn't mean you get to blurt it. Are you someone I have nothing to do with or my best friend? Pick one. Rem said nothing. A new day had begun, one beyond the blood and screams of the last. Kreis appeared with his usual grin. Commander, pay it back. Triple. I was wondering why a regular soldier like me got placed in the infirmary tent. Encrid thought, puzzled. You were nowhere to be seen during the battle, weren't you? Encrid asked him. You, as always, special discount. Just pay double, Kreis replied with a wink. Jackson entered quietly. What is it? Morning and evening. Apply this twice a day. Don't ask where I got it. It was the same ointment Jackson used to guard with his life. Encrid remembered. Jackson hated sharing personal items. Then came Odin, the silent giant, sobbing. Just go. I'm not dead, Encrid said, trying not to choke. Why are they taking shifts? After all this while, are they worried about me? Encrid wondered. Ragnar, blunt as ever, popped his head in. Oh, why are you here in the infirmary, Commander? Of course Ragnar wasn't worried. That wasn't his style. Aside from Encrid, 2 others lay in the tent. One, a platoon commander known to pick fights, and another, a nameless soldier who simply stared into space. He seemed low-ranking. So how did he end up here?
Then she appeared, a fairy female, elegant, commanding. Who's the commander of the 444th squad? Fairy, muttered the platoon leader, Vengeance. Which group are you with? The fairy asked. I'm Vengeance, commander of the 3rd platoon in the 2nd. So your company teaches you to state your race when addressing a superior? My apologies. A superior? So she's the new commander of the 4th company, Encrid realized. I'm Encrid, commander of the 4th squad, 4th company,
4th Platoon. I heard you're leading your difficult squad well. I look forward to your contributions. What? She just came here to say that? Encrid blinked. What's your name? She asked another. Pardon. Krang? Yes, Krang. Did he just make that up? His attitude. Is he a noble? Encrid wondered. That evening, most of the pain had faded. Where are you going? Asked Vengeance. The training area. Idiot, acting tough when you're the lowest ranking soldier. Encrid didn't respond. I need to recall the last battle. It's something I spent a lot of money to learn. If that last attack failed, I'd have died. I can't bet everything on one strike. Krang watched him curiously. You're working hard, hands twitching in the barracks, now spacing out. Grip training, I'm replicating the battle. Why? So I don't get killed. And if you don't get killed, you trying to become something? Encrid hesitated. What I want to become is a knight. It's my first time seeing this. Seeing what? Someone who didn't laugh at me. Krang smiled. Ah, I forgot to say something. I suddenly remembered. I know what I need to do now. If you become a knight, remember my name, friend. He vanished into the night. Is this the first time I've been supported? Encrid wondered. A bard sang outside the tent. Who's the hero of the battlefield? Cypress. Vengeance grumbled. Why aren't the morning rations here yet? They planning to eat it all and feed us scraps? Encrid wandered out for a walk instead of going to the training ground. Squad commander, how are your injuries? Jackson asked. The medicine worked well. Then hurry up and come back. Good night, Encrid, said Krung. You too. You crazy bastards are talking shit, grunted Vengeance. Encrid returned to sleep. Another quiet day. But then it repeated, the bard's voice, the rations delay, the same conversation. It was the same day. The Reaper's word echoed again. Another wall will stop you, so try to survive. While I was asleep, did I die again? No wounds, no blood, just emptiness. I died even more hopelessly than before. But I'm not broken. I'm more determined. But how? A knight, impossible. An assassin? It must be someone among us. Someone who knows this tent, can sneak in without a sound. A fairy's steps, quiet, deadly. Was her visit that day just a reconnaissance mission? He lay waiting. One entrance, one scream would end it. Then pain, a sharp sting, paralysis, a poisoned needle. He couldn't move, couldn't breathe. This is the reason I died without knowing. Then he saw them, Krang, Vengeance, and finally, the assassin, a masked figure, and behind him, the company commander herself.
Encrid had fallen hundreds of times, on the battlefield, in blood, in silence. Each death reset the world, but never the pain. He remembered every scream, every failure, every life he couldn't protect. They thought it was a war. For him, it was a prison. And there was a wall, one he had never broken. But this time, he would shatter it, even if it killed him again. In the last episode, Encrid continued his struggle inside the endless loop, training, fighting, and learning the heart of the beast. On the 124th day, he finally struck back and killed the enemy who had ended his life more than 100 times. But peace didn't last. A monstrous frogman attacked, and Encrid was nearly killed again. His squad stepped in, and the battle ended with their survival. When Encrid woke up in the infirmary, he was met with concern from his squad, and a mysterious visit from the 4th Company's commander, a woman from the fairy race. But that night, Encrid was assassinated in his sleep, and the day began again. Who's the hero of the battlefield? Cyprus? That chant rang through the air again. Encrid's eyes opened to the same morning, the third time in a row. This time he wasn't confused. He was cautious. He stayed alert, but still couldn't sense the assassin. That man moved without sound. It wouldn't be easy. Even if he stopped the assassins, he would still have to face the company commander, the one who had watched him die. He shook off the helplessness. He had been here before, and last time, he had won. As long as he didn't give up, he would find a way. Inside the tent, vengeance stared at him like he'd grown another head. Encrid ignored him. He stepped outside to scout. He assumed the assassins had already infiltrated the base. But maybe he had been wrong. He shifted his focus outward. Vengeance mocked him, asking if he was training to catch cockroaches with a sword. Encrid smirked and replied sarcastically, trading barbs until Krang entered with his usual awkward timing. Krang asked if he should return later. Encrid said no. But internally, his suspicion grew. Why had the assassins focused so much attention on Krang? Who was he, really? When Encrid asked directly, Krang hesitated and gave no clear answer. Vengeance exploded with accusations, calling Krang a foreign spy. But Krang's voice didn't waver. He stepped forward and declared, "I haven't and will not betray the kingdom." Even Vengeance fell quiet. There was something in Krang's presence that commanded respect or fear. That night, Krang casually wished Encrid good night. Encrid returned the gesture. Then came a whisper from Vengeance. Just a grunt, but he was calmer than usual. Was he scared of Krang now? Encrid wondered. Vengeance asked why Encrid wasn't sleeping. Encrid gave him a warning. Assassins are going to invade this tent soon. Cooperate if you want to live. Vengeance scoffed and rolled over. Before Encrid could even react, the assassin struck again. A slash. Darkness. Reset. It was now the fourth loop. Encrid tried alerting the higher-ups. They mocked him. He tried predicting the moment of attack, waiting to scream before the assassin appeared, but they were too fast. He tried patrolling outside. Still nothing. No matter what he did, he died. Over and over. It was the 20th loop. Still, he hadn't survived the night once. That's when a memory surfaced. A conversation with Rem. Jackson's like a perverted wild cat. Never fights head-on. Strikes when no one's looking. Encrid found Jackson standing alone, arms crossed. Jackson, if someone like you stabbed me in the back, how would I stop it? No one's ever survived my ambushes, Jackson shrugged. You'd need eyes on the back of your head. What does that mean? Jackson pointed toward a distant wagon. It's about to fall apart. Moments later, it did. Are you a prophet? No, Jackson said, unfazed. I heard the axle creaking. He heard that. From here, Encrid was stunned. You don't need to see. Sound tells you everything, if you learn how to listen. That night, Encrid lay in bed, listening. Footsteps, the torch crackling, guards shifting. Where are you? Assassin! But he failed. And again, and again. Loop 33, 34, 35, still dead. But his body remembered. His soul hardened. He trained in silence. Jackson's voice echoed in his mind. Sound is a wave. It rings in all directions, among thousands of sounds. Isolate just one. Encrid focused. The flags. Are there 7? 10? 3 nearby. 2 distant. Feel the waves. The familiar. The foreign. One day, Krang approached. Unsi, what kind of training is this? Ensi? You're Encrid, so Ensi's fine, right? It's not, but fine. I'm just sitting like an idiot. Does this look like training to you? You're not the kind of idiot who wastes time, Krang said. And he wasn't. Later, Krang tried sneaking up on him. You knew I was here? Encrid didn't respond. You're training perception, right? You never waste time. Another night, another chance. The assassin crept in. There, a hiss. Encrid's eyes snapped open. Dodge. The needle missed. He moved faster than the poison, faster than the faceless death. He had finally broken the rhythm. The assassin was no longer a phantom. Encrid had faced death for over 100 days, but on this night, he moved first. One dodge, one breath, 1 second faster. He had turned sound into sight and fear into fuel. But this is not the end, because faceless death is only the beginning. Who sent the assassin? Was it the commander? A traitor? Or something darker still? The wall is cracking, and Encrid is climbing. Subscribe to Manhwa Versed, where every step forward is one death closer to legend.
The assassin gets mad and retaliates right back at Encrid, who can feel that he's not great at combat despite his assassin abilities. He can kill him. He looks at the others to make sure they are okay. Vengeance is dead, but Krang is unsheathing his sword and getting ready for battle. Even if this guy is inexperienced, he will not let his guard down as he is still an assassin and must know all of his vital points. He desperately tries to hit Encrid and finally gets him with a throwing knife, but that's when the fairy commander rushes in and Encrid moves his target to her. If he does not attack first, he will most certainly die. This action allows the assassin to throw a bunch of poison needles at Encrid's unsafe back and at Krang, who has no chance of defending himself. Instead of retaliating, the fairy rushes behind Encrid to catch all of the poison needles with her cape and then moves on to Krang, saving them both. Encrid previously thought that she was with the assassin, but now she protected them. Whatever the case may be, now's his chance to put an end to this. He rushes in blade first into the assassin, who manages to deflect his attack, but without much choice, he runs away, ending the night in a victory. Krang comes from behind and notes that the assassin must have come for him, which Encrid already knows, as nobody is going to pay for an assassin to kill a boot soldier like himself or vengeance. The fairy notes that it's precisely as he says. He has sharp senses for a soldier. Encrid notices how she's still gripping her sword tightly. She was an ally for him, but she cannot let something like this be known. And since he is a witness, he knows what must come next. Suddenly, Krang gets in front of him and tells the fairy commander that he has a favor to ask, as he doesn't want anyone to die today. The commander bows down to him and says that she will do as he wishes. Krang wants vengeance to be rescued too, as he can sense that he's not dead, and the commander confirms that with a little antidote, he should wake up soon. Encrid thinks that she must be knowledgeable about antidotes, and Krang moves on to cleaning up this mess, as it's going to be a bother if people find out assassins were in the camp. Encrid notes that nobody will be suspicious of anything if there is nothing left, which he has an idea for. Eventually, they burn down the entire tent and people rush with water while they confirm that only 2 survivors remain out of the 3. With this, the traces of the assassins have been removed, and Krang will take care of anything else. He and the commander walk away from the camp in the dead of night, with the commander noting that if that squad leader hadn't slowed the assassin down, he would have died. Did he perhaps change his mind because of him? Krang confirms it, as that man is just too interesting. He has been trying to avoid something like this, but when he thinks about him, he just can't feel anything else. He must have rubbed off on him, but the next time they meet, they will do so in their respective roles. Inside Encrid's mind, the hollow scythe of the Reaper disappears, though the boatman comes around and says that he will meet death again in the future. Encrid is more confident than ever and tells him to bring it on. Finally, he beat another repeating day and managed to wake up the next morning. Now, he can sense the presence of most things, but he still couldn't sense that fairy. So, he has a lot to do when he gets back. Thankfully, he wasn't injured anywhere, so he can return now. But before he does, Vengeance asks why he saved him from the fire like that, as they didn't know each other. Encrid can't believe this guy is talking Watsuachi about him saving his sorry ass, but he says that they are comrades. There is no other reason needed than that. Vengeance feels kind of embarrassed, as he gave him a lot of crap before. He really is selfless. He also asks if he's returning to his squad, which Encrid confirms, and Vengeance tells him to prepare for an awful vibe when getting there. Encrid asks what happened, and Vengeance explains that there's a rumor going around that the entire base is cursed by some kind of spirit. At the team camp, Ragna and Rem are bickering about something, which soon turns into a brawl, with everyone near them running away so as not to get hurt by these bastards. They continue their fighting with punch after punch until Rem has had enough and promises to split his skull open, and Ragna tells him to bring it, as he is nothing but a stinking barbarian. Encrid comes around and says that the base isn't cursed, but he might as well be with these bastards. He tells them to stop, which puzzles them, as they thought he was dead, which Encrid denies, but he will soon go crazy if they don't stop doing this. 4 days have passed since Ankit has returned to his squad, and because of his improved senses, he notices Jackson, who is trying to leave quietly, and apologizes for waking him. Ankit says that it's fine since he was going to wake up and go train anyway. Jackson also notes that he has a pretty keen hearing sense, even though he only started a few days ago. He should keep it up as he will help in any way possible. The usual battles are few and far between since winter is steadily approaching. Since he has a lot of extra time, Ankred will use it to train himself until he cannot anymore, as that is the only thing he can do. When he gets back from his training, he notices Auden doing one-armed push-ups with a giant rock on his back. He says that he must be returning from his morning workout. He is keeping busy these days. He finishes his push-ups and gets up towering over Anchor as he does so. He notes that a well-trained body is a weapon too, so he should be able to withstand a kick from the frog now, though his body is still too thin, so he should keep training like he has done up until now. Enred thinks that he's just too large, but says that he will try. As they try to talk about something else, a commotion can be heard in the nearby tent, as Rem has kicked Ragnar off of his bed since it was his turn for duty. Yet, he dares to still sleep like a lazy bastard. The barely awake Rana crawls to his sword and grabs it before hurling it at Rem, who already had his axes prepared. They are again stopped by Ankred, who asks what they are doing, and Odin prays for their foolish minds. Rem says that he's hungry, and this bastard, who is on kitchen duty, is still sleeping like a baby. Ankred tells him to go ahead and start cooking, which he agrees to. Rem calls him a bastard and says that there was no need for what he did, if he was going to do it anyway, but Ragnar pushes him away as he stinks. Ankred asks Rem why he's picking fights for no reason. Is he that bored? He notes that it is precisely that the lack of battles is making him very cranky and active. Enred notes that he shouldn't waste his energy on a random person and should come with him as he wants to duel once again. They go and do just that, with Rem hitting him and telling him to take them better while charging in once again. Enkred is keeping cool with the heart of the beast and is using his new hearing to efficiently block hits. The most special thing, however, is the thing he practices while dying hundreds of times. His deadly stab, naturally, Rem dodges, allowing him to grab his blade with one of his blades and grab him with his other hands. He makes Ankred fall to the ground with this momentum, ending the fight. He was expecting more from him since he has improved so much in a short span of time, but he has become really boring as he keeps practicing that same stab again and again. Ankred knows what he's talking about, but now he knows that he is different than before. Now he can repeat everything hundreds if not thousands of times and still go forward. He beckons Rem for another fight as he will make sure to destroy him. Rem thinks that this guy's skills are very lacking, but he cannot get enough of those determined eyes of his. So he agrees to continue fighting. Just when they get into position, a downpour of rain arrives, forcing them to retreat back inside. Rem hopes that he won't get a foot fungus because of all this dampness. While everyone is doing their thing, be it praying or sleeping, Christ comes inside too, and wonders how many times he will have to cancel his duels because of dumb rain like this. He's really starting to believe that they have been cursed. Ankred asks what curse he's talking about, and Christ notes that it's about the one from the rumors. Ankred remembers Vengeance talking about something similar, that their entire encampment is cursed. Christ notes that the weather is too unusual, the casualties have increased, and the incident with the medical tent isn't helping either. People are rightfully saying that it's some kind of curse, though it probably isn't true. This downpour will only add fuel to this fire. Ankred notes that the higher-ups will not let these rumors fly around for long. Grace asks what he's doing at the entrance, and Ankred explains he's training his senses. He wonders how he can do that when it's raining so hard, but Ankred notes that it's especially because of that. Rem notes that this won't do him any good, but Jackson congratulates him for finding a creative way to train, as it will certainly help him. Rem looks back at him and asks what he taught him, and since when did he start caring about anything since it's so extremely loud in this place. The others also suggest other ways for him to train, like lying down or checking his posture. Rem now gets that these guys saw what he saw in Ankred. Every single one of them is attempting to help him in some way because they want to see the flames in his eyes grow. In the commander's tent, a meeting is taking place with the main commander, noting that they should send a scouting party before the winter begins. Does anyone have any suggestions for filling in the remaining seats? The ferry commander suggests the 444th squad leader, which the main commander finds kind of dumb. Won't he just hold the scouts back? The ferry commander notes that he could bring some unexpected results to the table, and she recommends him purely out of her ferry instinct. The next day, Ankred gets the news that he is being sent to the scout unit.